folks. Tom Hartmann here with you. Tip of the hat and many thanks to the number of people who called in to say that the last caller who said, I'm a little concerned here that Obamacare is the legislature taking too much power. If they have the power to force you to buy something from a health insurance company, they have the power to do all kinds of things. That caller had called into my friend and colleague's Ed Schultz's show 3 hours ago with the exact same script. I've told you before about these work-from-home schemes that you will see advertised over on right-wing websites and sometimes on Craigslist, where it is, hey, make blog postings, right-wing blog postings over at the New York Times, or you actually get paid for every blog post you put on. 5 cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, a buck, depends on the size of the blog. You can make $5 or $10 if you can make your way onto a radio or TV show. So, number one, consider the source. But number two, to the issue, because this is the argument that is being made by right-wingers. So, gee, what a surprise a right-winger calls and makes the argument, whether he's paid or not. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, our first guest was from the Heritage Foundation. I'm sure he's getting a paycheck. The point is that this question of power in the United States. And I find this a particularly bizarre argument coming from right-wingers. Because here you have the Supreme Court, which was never given the power to say that a law is constitutional or unconstitutional. If you can find that in the Constitution and give me a call and point it out to me where it says that the Supreme Court has the right to strike down laws passed by Congress and signed into law by the president, I'll send you a case of books. It ain't there. And there are limits on constitutional power. There are already limits on legislative power. They're called elections. In fact, this is how the founders envisioned we would determine what was constitutional and what wasn't. Was if Congress passes a law that the vast majority of Americans who are competent and capable of reading the Constitution and figuring out what it says, if the vast majority of Americans say, hey, this law is beyond the pale, then they throw the bums out and replace them with a new set of legislators who will remedy the problem. And this was Jefferson's whole premise, was that you have to trust the people en masse. And he was right. I'm going to get into this in considerably more detail in the next hour, but let me just say, in response to the last caller, our apparently paid, shill for the healthcare industry, or for the, or not for the healthcare, probably for Dick Armey or for the Koch brothers or whoever it is that's driving this thing, this anti-Obama, probably for the RNC, actually. Because if Obamacare is knocked down, it'll make Obama seem weak, which will hurt him in the election. If he's upheld, then he gets a great victory, and it'll help him in the election. That's what this boils down to for the partisan Republicans. Let me just say respectfully to my last caller and to people who are making that argument that they have their heads so far up places where the sun doesn't shine that they're not seeing what's actually going on. First of all, if you want to talk about a power grab, the power grab is the Supreme Court, saying that they can strike down laws passed by our representatives. We didn't elect the Supreme Court. Who made them kings? The Constitution didn't. This is not just a rhetorical question. The answer to the question is John Marshall in 1803 in Marbury versus Madison. And as I said in the first hour when we had the person on from the Constitutional Law Society, in fact, I think I still have that up. Maybe not. No, I don't anymore. Anyway, I was going to. Larry Kramer, the head of the Stanford Law School, is going to be having a debate in a couple of weeks. And you can find the details over at acslaw.org about whether or not the Supreme Court should even have the power to declare something unconstitutional. Okay, number one. So you want a power grab? The power grab's happening with 9 guys in black robes, 9 men and women with black robes, about 8 blocks from here, from where I'm sitting right now. Secondly, to say Congress has overreached its power, that's not the Supreme Court's job. That's your job and my job, and we exercise that at the polls. So, anyhow, I think I have, I hope I have made my rant clear. Des in Park Forest, Illinois, listening on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT. Hey, Des, what's up?
Yes, you're absolutely right when you say that the Republicans want the individual mandate, the whole Obamacare to be eliminated to make him look weak. You're right. That's the bottom line with the Republicans. But I say that we should have single-payer health care, and if you will allow me to tell the truth about this matter, at the beginning of the administration, they could have gotten single-payer health care, but Mr. Obama went and made deals behind closed doors with the health insurance companies who call themselves health insurance companies. What they really are is parasites.
They are, but let me interrupt you, D. He cut this. The deal that he made with them was, I'm going to do something that's in the best interest of the American people. You guys are no longer going to be able to take $4 out of every 10 that is given you by your patient, by your clients, and put it in your pockets. You're only going to be able to take $2 out of every 10. Your medical loss ratio is going to have to be 80%. And in exchange for that pain that I'm going to inflict on you, I'm going to give you 30 million new customers. And so at the end of the day, you'll be just as profitable as you are now. That was the deal he made. And the reason he made that deal was because he had Democrats in the U.S. Senate like Ben Nelson and Mary Landrieu and Blanche Lincoln and independent Joe Lieberman, who he knew would not go along with single-payer health care. He did not have that in the pocket, like you're saying, D. I know it's a great Republican talking point. Oh, Obama had Congress. No, he didn't.
Okay. Why did he just go to the American people and let them know? Because, look, when you have cancer in your body, you have to kill it, or else it's going to kill you, or a parasite will attach itself to the host and drain the host dry. That's what the so-called health insurance companies are going to do, continue to do.
Well, we'll see, D. One of the things I'm sorry, D. I got your point, and I've got a lot of other callers who want to get in here. One of the things that is in Obamacare is that in 2017 and maybe in 2014 with a waiver, individual states will be able to do what Saskatchewan did back in the 50s and say, we're going to do a single-payer health care system. Vermont has already passed the enabling legislation. It's already been signed into law by their governor, and they are right now working out the details of it in health care committees so they can hit the ground running as soon as it's legal. So the days of the health insurance leeches, as you described them so correctly, D, those days are numbered. They are definitely numbered.